Hey, what's up, y'all? Queen LaShawn, and I'm back with another video. This video, I'm going to be doing a review on T.I. and Tiny's Family Hustle. It aired last night. This was episode 3. This one is called Adulting. I am probably going to be uploading a couple more videos today. So if you guys like this video, subscribe to the channel. Follow me on my social medias and all that good stuff. Let's go ahead and get into the video. So the episode opened up with Tiny and King. They were riding in the car and the conversation came up if King has a girlfriend. And King was kind of coy about it. He didn't want to, let his mama all in his business like we all were around that age. But he did eventually tell her he has a girlfriend. He's dating a sophomore. And then the conversation comes up if he's having sex. So King is kind of like, do you want me to lie or do you want me to tell you the truth? So I'm like, whoa, is King already having sex? And then he just kind of, let her know he's not having sex, but he kind of implied that he's doing something. So I was, mind all over the place. I mean, there's a lot of something you could be doing. But I thought it was cute. I'm just so amazed at how quickly King grew up. It's literally like we watched him grow up on TV and it just seemed like it happened overnight. So I feel not Candy. Why I'm saying Candy? I feel Tiny on wanting to ask those questions. I mean, those are conversations that you definitely need to have with your teenage children. So I thought that was a very cute opening scene. Then it went to Zanique and Regine, and they are discussing issues that they're dealing with. They are very close, of course. They were in a group together. They used to live together, and they're now living separate, doing their own things. And it starts out with Regine giving Zanique a tour of her new place. The conversation comes up about Lucci, and Zanique lets her know that, hey, you've been booed up. You've been all over the media. We don't really get to spend much time together anymore. And then the conversation came up about school. Regine was letting her know that, she told her mom about school and that, it really wasn't for her. And she let her know that she kind of thinks Lucci has something to do with it. So they kind of consulted back and forth, and I really feel like this was like a real conversation, simply because most parents do want for their children to go off to college. We want them to start, careers and make the best out of their lives. And quite naturally, if they start dating anyone and those things start to change, or your child is not doing what we thought that they were on a path to do, then of course you're going to say the other person has an influence over them. But what I do like about Regine, she isn't just saying that she wants to pursue an acting career. We actually see her in the episode take an acting class, and she seems that she's pretty, serious about it. So not just dropping out of school just to, sit around and live off her parents' money. So I respect that. Then we got to see Monica and Toya. They were at a veggie patch and they were catching up with each other as well. The conversation came up about Shannon, Monica's husband, and his car accident. He's getting ready to go back to work. And Monica feels a type of way because she's, used to having him at home now. She's kind of scared for him to go back out into the world. But I I like that Toya is, there and is kind of supportive, that she has someone. The whole show, I actually like it. I really like, when it was just T.I. and Tiny, but I do enjoy seeing them with their friends as well, because, we all need that. Of course, you have your family and you could talk to your family about certain things, but it's oftentimes needed where we get an outside opinion. So I really like that they've kind of incorporated other people into the show, and we kind of get to see inside of their friends' lives as well. So overall, I really, I like the show. It's not like your typical reality TV show with drinks getting thrown, fights, and, it's just real relationships and real friendship, and I like that. We also got to see Lucci and Reginae. I honestly, I like them together. He's very hands-on. You can definitely tell that they're sexually active. There is chemistry between the two of them. I do remember reading something about some drama between the two of them. I can't remember off, top of my head exactly what it was. But in this scene, we do get to see them discuss how they met each other in a Gucci store. They've been dating for like 9 months. They discuss, how fast everything is going, that they've been on the Shade Room. And then, of course, they had the conversation about her telling Toya about college and how she thinks he is the cause of her not wanting to go. And, other than that, it wasn't really a whole lot that they let us see. But I respect the fact that Lucci is a pretty popular rapper, and he's not ashamed to claim his girl. He actually, went on a TV show with her, and he's very hands-on. So in this day and age, and it's sad to say, that's honorable to see a man like actually claiming his woman. And that conversation even actually comes up later. We see T.I. and Tiny, they're planning, well, he's planning a trip to Trinidad for their 8-year wedding anniversary, and that conversation comes up where, there was a point where him and her were always together. He made her feel like included in everything, and now there's a disconnect, and he feels that it's because of, well, she feels it's because of society, and that it's not cool anymore to have, your woman or your wife all underneath you all the time. So the fact that Lucci is doing that with Reginae, I did like to see that. Then we saw Nita and Toya. Nita, of course, Toya's mama, and they were discussing the 2-year anniversary of Toya's brother's death. They were shot and killed in New Orleans, and they were trying to plan like exactly what they were gonna do to honor them. We got to see Nita addressing like her staying clean, and Toya was just kind of telling her, that she's proud of her, that, she needs to continue doing what she's doing, keep finding things that she actually enjoys, like, cooking and being a grandma and all of that. And, I relate to that scene so much simply because I lost my mom in 2012, and it was related to substance abuse. She, was on alcohol and drugs and different things like that. And we tried so hard to get my mom clean and find things that she was interested in and keep her mind off of it. But in our case, the substance actually won. So it was very touching for me to see that particular scene. I won't, stay on it too long because that is a touchy subject for me. Then we saw T.I., Tiny, and King. They went out to eat, and the conversation came up about King having sex, him having adult activities at 14. We learned that King has bought his girlfriend some outfits. And it, to me, it was a cute scene. Of course, T.I. is just funny when it comes to those kids. And you can tell it's rich folks talk, rich kids over just your typical kids, because they were pretty much telling him, hey, don't spend over $100 on this girl. And then he was like, well, what if we go out to, oh God. He was like, what if we go out to eat and our meal comes up to over $100? And they were just like, well, you should split it. Different things like that. And I'm just like, a meal for teenagers coming up over $100? Like, yeah, this, like, for me, 14 years old, my meals were not coming up over $10, $15, and that's probably for two people. So it's, a different ballpark for rich kids. And I just thought that was kind of funny. But the way that, King was kind of just brushing it all off and was just like, yeah, he got a girlfriend, they have adult activities. And then the CTI really just try to come in and play, hey, don't do this, don't do that. And then T.I.'s out here doing what he's telling him not to do. So it was funny, but I like to see it. Then we actually got to see Reginae taking her acting class. Zanique was there. I did want to touch on VH1 and their editing, because in the preview, or, like the little clip they show before it cuts to commercial, I thought that Zanique and Reginae were actually having an argument about something, but it was not. It was them in acting class. And, I always notice that about these reality TV shows and the editing. It's like they'll do little things like that to get our attention, to make us keep watching, because I was like, what the hell are they arguing about? But they were actually in acting class. So like I mentioned earlier, it was, cute to see Reginae actually pursuing her acting career. And the little fake scene that her and Zanique did with the cheating boyfriend and all of that, like, it wasn't terrible. I saw worse acting on official, like, shows and movies. So I'm not gonna say that she doesn't have a future in acting somewhere. Then we saw Monica and her daughter. She put together her 5th birthday party, and once again, the difference between rich and average, or rich and poor, it was definitely displayed again, because Monica went all out for this baby's birthday party. It was a carnival. It was like a big top carnival / a festival, funnel cakes, like the works. And I'm just like, I was jealous, and I'm 34 years old and I ain't had a birthday party that extravagant yet. They were talking about Disney cruises. I don't know if Monica is gonna take all the kids that were at the birthday party to a Disney cruise. We got to see Shannon in this particular scene on camera, and he of course was mentioning, they were discussing how it was when Monica delivered the baby, some of the complications that she had. Shannon came off to me, he's kind of like a big kid. He was there, he had some input, whatever, but he's really kind of low-key, jokes a little bit. So I'm kind of interested to see how he's gonna be on camera, if we get to actually see, you know, how him and Monica interact with each other. And then we saw King, Tiny, and his girlfriend and the girlfriend's mom. They went skating. Tiny and the little girl's mom, they sat down, they discussed the gift that King gave their daughter. There was a very awkward silence, which I could imagine there would be, you sitting down and having a conversation with your 14-year-old daughter's boyfriend's mother. Like that's a lot. But of course, you know, they broke the ice. Tiny was telling her about King has always been giving and, you know, into girls, and that he had bought another girl a puppy, and they just really kind of, you know, talked, and she let her know that King was a good boy, and, you know, that she believes he's harmless. If anything comes up, then the two of them should, you know, communicate and consult and talk about it. Then we got to see where T.I. was trying to get Tiny to go to Trinidad for their 8-year anniversary. He just kind of rushed over it and asked her really quick, like, so I'm going to Trinidad, you know, you could be on the plane with me. And I felt Tiny, like, that's not the way to ask. Even though they're going through their issues, like, you could have came out and made it a little bit more romantic. He didn't even say, you know, hey, this was a trip I'm planning for our anniversary. He was just kind of like, you know, an important date comes up later this month, and he kind of just left it, you know, to her to put 2 and 2 together. And I felt Tiny, like, you got to make your woman feel special. You can't just, you know, throw that on her, especially with all the stuff that, you know, is going on between them, him being caught in the media on video and all this other stuff. Like, he should have been kissing the ground that she walks on. And of course she went and had a conversation about that with Toya and, you know, their relationship, and Toya agreed to go and talk to T.I. and get to the bottom of it. And I think Toya talking to him kind of, you know, helped it out a little bit, because they got to see, or he got to see a little bit of how Tiny was feeling. And he went back and then, of course, tried to smooth things over, ask her again about going a little bit better. And, of course, she accepted this time. Last scene of the episode, and it was a bit emotional for me again, we got to see Toya, her mom, Regine, and family go to the resting site for her 2 deceased brothers, and it was very emotional. We got to see the daughters of the brother, and one of them was really, like, breaking down. And then we saw Regine get to the place where she couldn't take it, and then, of course, Toya and everybody. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I couldn't even imagine losing 2 brothers at the same time and in such a brutal way. And, you know, I know that pain firsthand of losing a loved one. So my heart, prayers, all that go out to them. And, you know, what I did like is they turned it and they made it a positive thing. They were saying it's a new start for everybody. They got, I'm not going to say closure, but they did, you know, let some tears out. They embraced each other. They were pretty much saying how proud they are of Nita for, you know, staying clean and all of that. And overall, I thought this was a very solid episode. I look forward to watching it. It's welcomed from some of the other reality shows that we get to see. It's really, you know, Black people, and what a lot of us go through just living this life. So I really like the way that they put this show together. And that's it. That's all I got for this particular episode. Like I mentioned earlier, if you guys like this video, hit the thumbs up for me. Subscribe to my channel. Get in the comments below. Let me know how you feel. And of course, follow me on my social medias. And until next time, bye guys.